Hello, I'm James Daggar-Nickson. Welcome to Media Week. Ahead on the programme, Editor-in-Chief of Delicious joins us on the desk to discuss branding and what lies ahead for the platform, and the latest on the rival bid for Fairfax. And of course, we'll get you across all the latest in terms of ratings. But first, my co-host James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week, is here to take us through all those stories and more. And we'll get to James just shortly. Before we do, though, digital marketing technology startup Sinorbis has announced the close of an oversubscribed bridging round led by the team behind Executive Channel Holdings, who recently divested their Australian office display network to oOh!media in a $68.5 million sale. The $2.3 million of new funding will be used to accelerate the launch and deployment of Sinorbis, a digital marketing platform who will be assisting marketing agencies seeking to help their clients break into the Chinese market. I'm pleased to say joining us to talk all about it is Sinorbis CEO Nicolas Chu. Nicolas, appreciate your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Just to start with, give us a bit of background and talk to us about what you guys are actually offering.
Sure. So Sinorbis is a marketing technology company that allows Western companies and agencies to easily do digital marketing in China.
So tell us, how do people access it? Is it a bit more sophisticated than an app, or do you give people a blueprint, or do you actually hold their hand and sort of walk them through the process?
A little bit of both, actually. So we offer the opportunity through a cloud-based marketing platform to do things by themselves if they want to, if they have the skill sets. But if they need some help and jumpstart their marketing activities, we can also provide some services around it.
Okay.
How difficult, well, difficult maybe is the wrong word, but how different market is it, if you like?
Actually, James, I think difficult is the right term. It is extremely difficult to do digital marketing in China. While it is by far the largest market in the world, it's about, twice the size of the US market, 25% of the world's internet population. It is also the most difficult to do business with. The whole online ecosystem is different. There's no Google, there's no Facebook, no Twitter, no Wikipedia. So when you try to do digital marketing in China, you have to rethink how you do things.
And do you think that there is an appreciation of that difficulty amongst Western agencies and businesses?
I think it's getting there, because now, it's impossible not to do digital marketing without thinking of China. So I think we're starting to realize how different it is, and we're just about to realize how difficult it is, because people think that they can leverage what they're doing on Google or Facebook, for instance, but it is completely different.
And how new is it? I mean, you're still getting startup funding. Do you have existing clients? And you've started working with
Yes,
people?
we're lucky enough. So since we started the operations last year, we actually signed with a lot of different clients in different sectors: higher education, so we have quite a few universities, consumer goods, travel and tourism. So those three sectors are very important to us.
Are there competitive products or anything like that that offer a similar sort of a service that aren't up?
No, so right now the only way how you can really do digital marketing in China is to go through an agency. There's no platform that allows you to do it in an easy way. You do have platforms on the retail e-commerce side, but you don't have any on the marketing side. We are the first one to do that in a fully integrated way.
Are there opportunities for digital people, for media people at all? I mean, we've heard about there's a South Australian production company just got up some big joint ventures with China. Is there areas there for people?
Huge opportunity. As I said, it's by far the largest market in the world, 720 million internet users, 25% of the world's internet population, which means that when you are a media company or a digital marketeer, you can only target 75% of the world. So that's another way how to put it.
And global opportunities? Is this just Australia? You're going to work with Australian businesses, or can this just go wider?
So we are an Australian holdings. We have offices in Sydney, in Beijing and Shanghai, but we actually have clients all around the world already. So the majority of our clients are in Australia so far, but we do have clients in the US, in consumer goods. We signed with a few hotel chains in Asia. We have some clients in Europe as well.
What about the funding that you've managed to raise? I mean, where are you at, and how much more do you need? What are you looking for in terms of break-even revenue sort of targets?
Sure. So right now we have different arms. One arm is the Sinorbis consulting service part, for which is tracking very well, and we have developed this software that allows companies and agencies to do digital marketing in China. For the platform, we needed external funding, so we have raised to date $3.9 million. through 2 pre-Series A rounds, one last year when we started the business, and we just closed a bridge round of 2.3 million.
And the insights you've got into China, I think you've worked there before, is that correct?
Yes.
And do you have partners? How do you get inside China?
Yeah, it is very difficult to do business in China if you are not in China. My 2 business partners are Alan and Dandan are located in China, so we have an office in Beijing and another one in Shanghai. Alan is one of the online pioneer of digital marketing in China. He founded the largest search marketing company in China. And Dandan Cheng used to work with me before in my previous life, and she was also the managing director of eBay in China. So,
Wow.
My 2 business partners are quite into the digital space in China.
As well as, I suppose, the landscape for marketing and the digital side, is the people that you're marketing to, is that also a difficult market? The people and their tastes and what works and what doesn't work?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's not that difficult as long as you know their buying behavior, the purchasing behavior, and as long as you know which channel you should be using to target them. Because if there's no Google, if there's no Facebook, if there's Twitter, you need to understand which channel, at which stage of the acquisition funnel you are in order to acquire these clients.
All right, Nicolas Chu, appreciate you joining us this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time now to turn attention to some of the big news stories dominating the media space this week, and they don't come much bigger than Fairfax, and for a number of reasons, James Manning, but we're going to talk about the big one. Of course, that is the second bid for Fairfax Media itself. It looks like we might be seeing a bit of a bidding war.
Yeah, it does seem it, doesn't it? I mean, just when it was looking like TPG might have got to a spot where they could have been,
because this comes after they increased their offer as well to $1.20.
Absolutely. So when people were wondering, gee, will Fairfax let TPG do due diligence on the business, all of a sudden we've got 2 companies getting access to the company books.
And this new company is another private equity firm out of the US, though interestingly, doing some research on them, they've got some form and some past when it comes to media.
Brian Powers is a former CEO, he's the chairman of Hellman and Friedman at the moment, former Fairfax chairman for about 4 years, worked a lot with Greg Hywood and Nick Falloon, the current CEO and chairman. And of course he was also head of Kerry Packer's Consolidated Press for a number of years here in Sydney. So he knows the market really well. And, if they haven't been sitting in the sidelines looking over the company for a while, the interest of TPG has certainly piqued their current concerns that maybe they should be in this.
And Fairfax announcing today that they are allowing due diligence for both consortiums. Do you get this? Fairfax is in play now, would you say?
I'd say so. I mean, look, just talking to people this week, I was talking to people last night at a media industry function. They were all thought, this is before the second bidder had arrived, they thought it was definitely going to change hands. It looks almost certain now. But look, there's still a few hurdles. There's the government OK, the FIRB, which recommends to the Treasurer. Will he give it the OK? You can expect at the very minimum they're going to need to give, guarantees that, look, the journalism will be respected. I don't know whether that'll come down to staff numbers or anything like that, but they'll really want some conditions there, I think, attached to any sort of takeover that gets the green light. And
a higher price. You'd have to think 2 competing big bids now. Shareholders, least of all, would be hoping for a higher price.
You'd think so, yeah. I mean, and look, and there are concerns that it might go out of fall out of Australian ownership hands, but they've still got to employ Australians. I think the new owner's going to get that the attraction, and given it's private equity, they need to have an exit strategy. So that strategy is going to maintain the quality of Fairfax publications, that they've built over the the hundreds of years they've been in existence. So they're not going to want to see that dissipate at all.
Let's sticking with Fairfax, because in wonderful piece of timing, Greg Hywood, the CEO, of course, appeared before a Senate committee talking about journalism, talking about the media space, spent a lot of time talking about his pay packet. Well, not so much time talking about TPG, though.
No, he said, and you can understand that. He thought, look, I can't really discuss what's happening now. And now that there's 2 bidders been made public and they're going to do the due diligence, Fairfax still aren't going to come out and talk at this stage. They just got to wait, they think, till a firm offer's made or a firm, play is underway.
Some vision, Pim, during that testimony yesterday. Do you get the sense that the Greg Hywood era is coming to an end?
Oh, I think you've got to think that's definitely going to happen. And Anthony Catalano looks like the man who'll be, who'll get the job. Although there's talk of Greg Ellis, a former REA executive, who could be part of the Hellman and Friedman play, what sort of role would he take over? You mentioned the salary, lots of interest in Greg Hywood's salary.
There's about 20 minutes of it devoted to his salary.
And in a way, look, it is a lot of money, but I mean, and Greg Hywood was partly right, and you say, well, look, you pay what the market rate is, I guess, and there's lots of people earning maybe too much money, and I don't know if Greg Hywood should carry all the,
Has he done a good
blame
job,
for that, if you like. Well, I think so, when you look at it. And
took over a difficult time.
Yeah, absolutely. And look what they've got. They've got an asset that two major US equity funds are fighting over, worth a lot of money. And private equity, some of those people have been complaining about Greg Hywood. Gee whiz, they're going to be nervous if private equity get their hands on the business, won't they? Yeah. They'll probably say, gee, I wish we were back in the Hywood days, yeah.
Let's move on. Let's talk about Motorsport Network. It's acquired an Australian publisher, Motoring Media Network. Yeah,
Motorsport Network runs something called Motor1.com. It's a big global sort of motoring portal, if you like, motoring news, motorsport news, and also you can search for your new car. They've been sort of adding little markets all around the world. Now they've added Australia with the acquisition of this Aussie business.
And Ten's got a new Chief Commercial Officer.
Yeah, Sunita Gloucester, who's been on the channel a little bit with the marketing program they've had here. She's been behind that as well as sort of on air with... but it's a good get for Ten. I mean, there's been a lot of speculation that we've mentioned too that Ten mightn't have a future, Some people are thinking the network will fall over. They're definitely sending a message to the market. Look, we're not going anywhere. We've still got a great asset. We're getting an ad industry expert with great insights, great connections to help us, make sure we're maximising our revenue opportunity.
And movements at Facebook.
Yeah, look, Will Easton coming back. Gee whiz, he picks his time, doesn't he? That he left, I think, 2015. He's been working out of Singapore, I think, for the internet giant. Coming back here when there's a lot of focus on Facebook globally, but particularly in Australia, where they're refunding overcharges to a lot of advertisers, including the Australian government.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at a media platform who bills itself as Australia's #1 premium food brand. Plus, we'll have all the latest television ratings, so stay with us.
Dreaming of a luxurious holiday? With Luxury Escapes, it's possible. We work with the world's best hotels to create incredible holidays at prices we can all afford. When you book with Luxury Escapes, you also get VIP inclusions. First, download the app or go to luxuryescapes.com. Then browse our offers. Purchase online or call one of our experts, available 7 days a week. Discover the world's best holidays today with Luxury Escapes. Did you know the right agent could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars more on the sale of your home? Secure the right agent to get you top dollar at openagent.com.au. And the best part is it's absolutely free. Simply type in your postcode to discover agents who have sold homes in your area. Next, get a snapshot of recently sold properties and compare agent reviews.
It was quick, it was easy, and they did all the hard work.
To personalise your search, speak to a specialist from our research team. No wonder 60,000 Australians visit Open Agent each month to find them an agent that can sell their home smarter, faster and for more money.
We got $200,000 more by choosing the right agent.
Find the right agent to get top dollar for your home. Remove the guesswork and let Open Agent do the hard work for you. Call or visit openagent.com.au.
Never more ready to fall in love again. Never more ready to fall in love again.
The Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. Build a unique 1:8 scale replica of the classic American muscle car. Get issue 1 with your first model parts at newsagents now for just $4.99. The Agostini.
just waiting to be discovered. So look a little closer and see what others don't. Join Expedia Plus Rewards today and discover member pricing and more.
A Tasmanian icon with an infamous reputation. But behind the volatile temper lies a nurturing and committed parent. Menacing marsupial, or simply misunderstood. An all-new two-part special, part of Animal Planet Down Under. The Secret Life of the Tasmanian Devil. Premieres Monday the 5th of June on Animal Planet.
A Deputy Commissioner of the Tax Office is charged as police bust up an alleged tax scam run by his son. Malcolm Turnbull says this proves the system is working, but I'm not so sure. Plus my guest, Tony Abbott, on the Bolt Report, only Sky News Live.
Hi there, welcome back to Media Week. My co-host James Manning, editor and publisher of Media Week, is here. More from James in a moment. First though, News Life Media's Delicious bills itself as Australia's #1 premium food brand. The magazine and digital destination is about to expand its reach further with the launch of a Facebook Live video content series called Studio Delicious. To tell us about the brand and the moves, Editor-in-Chief Kerrie McCallum joins us in studio. Kerrie, appreciate your time this afternoon.
Thank you.
Just to start with, an awful lot is said and written about the difficulties being faced in the publishing, the magazine sort of area at the moment. How does that work for food? Is food a little bit more of a bright spot within that?
Look, definitely is. I mean, there are tough areas in food, but for a brand like Delicious, which is a premium food lifestyle brand, as we know, food is at the centre of the zeitgeist, and we have been going through a really aggressive expansion period for Delicious. So we're in a growth phase. So I'd have to say things are positive for us, but I know the environment in general is tough.
The Facebook Live video series, tell us a little bit about that. What is it? When's that going to start? And how crucial is it to keep, you know, reaching those digital audiences with things like video?
It is so critical. I mean, Studio Delicious came about because we knew, all the stats are saying that for foodies, like 40% of foodies want to watch videos, food videos online, and 1 in 3 were watching them on Facebook. So we knew, okay, this is definitely an area where content is growing, and we came up with a programming series, and we built a studio within our own editorial department. It's not quite as fitted out as this, but it works. And we built programs, all with the view that they'd be sponsorable formats, but we knew they were engaging from an editorial view, which is always the best starting point. So we started with a daily programming schedule, and we were dropping 1 to 2 videos a day. Some Facebook Live a day, and sometimes an edited video as well. And I guess it increased our engagement by 700%. So we were sitting around video views around sort of 480,000 in the December to January period. That within a month of launching, or a month and a half, we're up at 3.1 million video views just in that time that we've been dabbling within our own studio. This is before we'd even taken it out to market. So we thought, look, there is something here, and the content's so genuine and it's so engaging, and you can actually have dialogue with people watching you at that same time, which is incredible.
I was just going to say, does having it live make a difference? Because
really
everybody
does.
houses video, but just
It
live
really
seems to
does.
attract a bigger
It's so
crowd.
unique. In fact, one of the segments that we do that I host myself is called On the Couch. So we have a couch, you know, the lighting set up, and I get some of our key talent. You know, Delicious is sort of synonymous with a lot of our celebrity chefs and foodies and contributors, and we get them in to sit on the couch.
It's not all just cooking.
No, that's right. Okay. And we have a chat about, you know, we had Hayden Quinn come in. He was just fresh back from Dubai, and he's got a new book or a new series come out. We were chatting live, and his father started chiming in on our feed. Then his girlfriend started to have the conversation, and so my sort of producer can then relay to me the questions coming in.
And do you invite that sort of interaction during that live element?
Yes, and the beauty with it being live is there is sort of an expectation that it's a little more informal, and you know you're sitting in the midst of our office, and I think that informal nature of it is really appealing. However, it doesn't work for every type of video. So it was a bit of tinkering to figure out, okay, what works live, what doesn't, and it's really, I think, an incredible thing. I mean, I'm very excited about it, in fact.
Can I ask what other than, say, you know, the couch series that you host, what's some of the other content you have? Because I've seen on Facebook, and I love these things, these little sped-up 30-second how to make the perfect souffle, or just some extraordinary piece of food magic. We just go, oh, this is amazing.
Yes.
I watched that.
Well, you know, just on that, we recently at News sort of collaborated, taste.com.au and Delicious collaborated on a few of those very simple videos. And we picked our top 100 performing recipes and filmed the process. And we sort of didn't really realise, we didn't have sort of expectations around it, but we've had millions of views on an espresso martini layer cake. People will just sit there watching it and they fantasise, they may never even cook it, but they love watching it. And, you know, the power that you have with these videos now is, I mean, it's really just the starting point of what you can do. But look, yeah, all sorts of things. We film Meet Your Maker, where we might go out and visit a gin distiller or a burrata maker. We go into the kitchen with a top chef. We've got a chef cam where we've got a camera that we can attach to the chef's head and film.
Tell me, do you need to stay focused though on the brand and making sure all these views support what else you're doing on other platforms?
Of course, but the beauty with the engagement increase that we've had on Facebook is 30 to 40% of delicious.com.au's referrals are driven by our social audience. So the higher the engagement we're getting on Facebook via these videos, the more it's positively impacting on our traffic. But in terms of the brand, Delicious has broad-reaching pillars. You know, we cover the eat-out sphere and restaurants and reviews. We cover recipes, travel, drinks, entertaining and style. And obviously people. So really there is that diverse portfolio of programming that we can cover that is also exciting to a broad range of clients as well.
Almost out of time, but just wanted to get an idea of what sort of food trends are coming up that Delicious are going to be covering for the rest of the year.
How long have we got? Look,
sadly, not long enough by the sounds of it.
Look, there are some tremendous trends in food, you know, and really it is at the centre of the zeitgeist, and there are some interesting things like the rise of flexitarianism. So, you know, vegan searches and vegetarian searches are topping delicious.com.au, and that's very interesting to where we were a year ago. And I think health is another really interesting one. That's not abating, and in
not
healthy.
Not so much chocolate anymore.
As long as it's sugar-free.
Sounds awful. Kerrie McCallum, appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We talked a little bit about, James, some of the news headlines previously in the show. Little bit of television news, not an awful lot, but I want to get your thoughts on Netflix. Hoodlum Lands commissioned first Netflix Australian deal?
Yeah, well, Netflix has bought Aussie content before and invested in it, but it's never commissioned its own Australian series, which this is the first. It'll get shown globally, but it's a great win for Hoodlum, based up there in Brisbane. And Netflix is copying a lot of criticism because, you know, people see it like Facebook and Google. They come into the market here, they don't have any Aussie staff. You know, where's their commitment? Well, this is, you know, Netflix is moving around the world, starting to spend in different markets, and this is the first time they've really put their hand in the pocket from Australian commissions. And, you know, all going well, we'll see more of this.
Good news. Sticking with television, let's take a look at all the latest ratings for week 19. We'll kick off with the free-to-airs, and 7 News Sunday taking out top spot.
Yep, look, people like their news on Sunday. The 2 bulletins there in the top 5 from Sunday. The Voice doing very well. We've just finished the blind audition segments, and we go on to sort of the more, I think they call them the battle rounds, is coming up next, James, in case you were wondering.
I have to admit, I'm not much of a fan.
MasterChef in the back half of the top 10, though, so the foodies watch a lot of TV too, mate.
All right, so they are the free-to-airs. MasterChef coming in at number 8 and 10. Let's take a look at subscription television ratings. This is for all of them, and the A-League. That's
grand final. That was. Yep. The most watched A-League match ever. On Foxtel or on any platform. Interesting bit of news this week quickly at 7. It's pitting in a bid for a Saturday night game. So they originally pitched a contra-only deal. They didn't want to pay any cash or not much, but they've gone back to the negotiating table. So we might see A-League on 7.
Where is my Super Rugby? The Waratahs can't get a berth anywhere at the moment.
That's a separate story. Then a bit of trouble, Super Rugby, isn't it?
Let's talk non-sport selling houses Australian. I think this might have got top spot last week as well.
Yeah, look, it's been doing very well, that series. Those lifestyle things like Grand Designs, we've talked about that. Gogglebox, of course, earlier this year did fantastically well. And the other Aussie things like Housewives, they've just finished that season.
Is it coming back, do you think?
Yes, well, they haven't committed yet, I don't think, but they've announced another season of the Melbourne Housewives.
Just been told September. It's coming back September.
Oh, OK, all righty, OK.
Seems awfully quick.
It does. And there's another season of Melbourne coming up with some new housewives.
Brilliant. There you go. That is the non-sport ratings. Big thank you to James Manning, as always. Thanks very much, James.
Thank you.
That is it for this week's edition of Mediaweek from the entire team here. Thanks for watching.